Hey, on this channel, we not only love to cook, but we cook to love. And I'm going to tell you one thing. This is a labor of love today, these buffalo chicken lollipops. This was quite an experience. We did 3 versions. I want you to stay tuned to All Things Food. I'm John Woods, and we're going to jump right into this great recipe. You're going to have so much fun. You're going to be glad that you tuned in today because you won't see this anywhere else. Let's get cooking. So we have this beautiful drumstick, and right in here is a knuckle. See those 2 knuckles right there? Right behind it is another knuckle. Now I have found a lot of people will take their knife and cut all the skin back and then peel it off and try to pull it out. I don't have the hand strength or in my fingers to be able to do that. So I found an easier way is to take my knife and very carefully cut right behind that knuckle. And I'm going to cut all the way up the bone right there. Then I'm going to come and go around the bone like most people will do. And you need a very sharp knife to do this. And I'm going to take my kitchen shears and cut through that skin. You see how we cut into that bone right below where right here where the meat is on the leg. So it's right below that, we cut that off. I'm going to take this, push it all forward. So then what I do is I take the chicken and I turn it around, get my chef's knife, and I try to cut off a flat spot. There's a little bone right there. I try to come in and trim that off, taking as little as the meat as I can to make that flat, and that's how we're going to let that stand up. Sometimes you'll have to do that once or twice to get it right. Stick your thumb or finger right up underneath here, and you'll find a little tiny bone. It's called, some people call it the toothpick bone because it resembles a toothpick. Very thin, very sharp. And I like to reach up in there if I can find it. You can't always find it. And put my fingernail up underneath it once I find it and work it out of the chicken. You can hear it pop there. Sometimes they're big and sometimes they're small. This is a pretty big one. It's going down in there pretty deep. Sometimes if you find it, you can take some needle nose pliers, get it way down in there and pull it out. See, there's the bone. And we just want to pull that out. Then we're going to clean this up a little bit with our kitchen shears. I'm going to take that skin and pull it down over the meat. Try to get that down there nice and good. Clean that up a little bit. We'll come back and clean those up. And there we have it. I always like to give you 2 or 3 alternatives on how to do things. So we're going to do this 3 different ways today. Traditional deep fry, we're going to bread it, deep fry it, sauce it up. We're going to do one with just seasoning baked in the oven. And then we're going to sauce it up. And then we're going to do another version, kind of like a oven-baked fried chicken version. And we'll see which one we like the most. So here's the breading that I'm going to use right here. That's just all-purpose flour. I'm going to throw a little bit of this baking powder in there, which is supposed to crisp it up a little bit. It really does work. Throw that in there. Just kind of use your own measurements on the ingredients here. A little bit of onion powder, teaspoon. Garlic, granulated garlic. We have over here a little bit of smoked paprika, about a half a teaspoon. A little bit of cayenne for some heat, half a teaspoon. Do a little bit of kosher salt. Right there. And then we're going to come over here and do some ground black pepper. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bread up some for the deep fryer here. Right here I have clarified butter. You can use regular butter. This is clarified butter. Always happen to have some of it around. I'm going to use it as a binder. Let me get, let's say we're going to do about 4 or 5 of these deep fried. We'll put that butter on there. And I'm going to throw some in the pan so I don't contaminate that. If you use real butter, you melted real butter, you need to be careful because it will solidify if you don't do this very quickly. We're going to go ahead and bread those up. Put my chicken down here, take some of that breading and just throw right on top of it. Get it pat in real good. If you have a commercial deep fryer or one of those tabletop deep fryers, it's a lot easier. We're just doing ours in the Dutch oven on the stove here. being very careful to monitor the heat, and we don't want children or anyone around distracting us when we do this. Carefully set those right down in the fryer. I have enough oil in here so when they're going to topple over, that's no big deal. We're going to put them right down in here and probably let them cook for about 12 minutes, and we're going to check the internal temperature on them. 5 of them in there. It's all bubbling because of the moisture that's in that chicken. So we're going to keep an eye on those, and we're going to come back and start on the next phase. So the next thing we're going to do is basically the same thing. Let me pour some more of that butter over in here. Watching my chicken all the time. Go ahead and get it breaded. Okay, we're finished with that. We're going to just set those aside for a minute. Right now I've got a cast iron skillet in the oven. You can use a sheet pan. I just happen to have a cast iron skillet out. I'm going to use that today since we only have about 10 wings to 10 lollipops to put in there. And I think it's going to be real good in that cast iron skillet. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to find a seasoning. I like Malcolm Reed's Killer Hog seasoning. We're going to spice this up a little bit. This is his hot barbecue rub. Malcolm's a good friend down in Nesbitt, Mississippi, doing barbecue right. His great YouTube channel. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to just sprinkle on here fairly generously. Alrighty, now we've got all those finished. We'll do one more thing over here. Take this is duck fat if you can find it at the grocery store. I recommend always keeping this around. We're going to take some duck fat, spray on these. You can use regular cooking spray if you want to. I just think this is the ultimate. And we have our breaded version, which is like this, except these are deep fried. These are going to be baked in the oven. And then we have our seasoned version that are going to go in there. And I'm going to pull this skillet out of the oven, put it up on my stove here. I'm over here at 400 degrees. I'm going to pull that out. And I'm going to take some of my clarified butter that's over here. Remember, clarified butter can stand a pretty high temperature. Put that in. I'm going to take these and stick them right in there. Try to get them to stand up. It's already looking beautiful. These are the breaded ones. Space them out about a finger width apart. They'll cook better. Maybe pull them off the side a little bit. So that's 1 down, 2 down actually. And here's 3 down. Another way we could do this is on the grill. You could smoke these, you can grill them. I think they make actually a little rack that you can use to put these in the grill. You can buy that on Amazon somewhere. I don't know exactly what it's called, but you just actually hang the lollipop in there and it cooks on the grill. That's a good thing to have. So we're going to go ahead back in the oven. And these are going to take about, an hour, roughly, to get to where we want them. So we're going to check them in about 30 minutes, see if we need to rotate them at all, and then we'll be back. Well, everything's cooking. We're going to come over here and make a really simple wing sauce. I mean, it's really basic. So many wing sauces on the market, but you can make this with most stuff that you have in the house. Use butter, or I'm going to use clarified butter since I'm using that today. A little bit of Frank's or Frank's Red Hot Wing Sauce, or you can just use Frank's hot sauce. I just happen to have that. And a little bit of honey to taste. I think you can get a good bit of honey on there. Come over here with some of this sauce. Shake it up. Put a little bit in there. Careful. I like this flavor profile. You have the sweet, you have that buttery taste, and then you have this nice tangy sauce. Let's go ahead and check our chicken. I'm going to pull the piece out. We want it to be a minimum of 165. I like my dark meat though. I like to cook it a little more. It's just a preference. I like to get it up to about 185 or so. This is my instant read thermometer. And it looks like we're hitting temperatures just perfect here. We're going to go ahead and pull those out, get them drained off. And pretty comfortable that these are all done. So what I'm going to do now, little blue cheese there. Get this over where you can see it. A simple sauce. Stir it up. We'll just coat that on there with a brush. Cut us up a little celery for this. And there you have it, folks, the fried chicken lollipops, and I think they're going to be so good. It's time to get these lollipops out of the oven. Yeah, I really like the way this looks. Just to get a good close-up with the camera on this. So we did 3 different versions today. So we have the deep fried, we have a little light breading on that. Over here we have the oven baked, which was a light breading with a seasoning. And then over here we have Malcolm's that has his rub on it. You can use any kind of rub. I love his rub. So 3 styles. Tell me which one you like the most. Let me know, or share your style with me. But I thank you for watching today. This is All Things Food with John Woods. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do so. Hit the like button. This is worth it. Share this with your friends. But remember, above everything, not only love to cook, and I love this today, but we're going to cook to love. And I'll see you next week on All Things Food.